part two was basically I was practicing with a cable. So I cut a cable, like one of these the micro USB ones, older than this, in half, and I joined it back up, you know, just practicing, like doing that like little shabby practice, and it worked. However, it wasn't all that like it was like low lighting and everything. So basically the car one, the car cable, it stopped working with that dodgy connection. So, and then I bent the wire, and then it would work for like a day, and then it stopped working again. So I know it's exactly that part, because obviously that was my first time trying it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna cut, and there's no length. So where that heat wrap, that yellow orange heat wrap has gone on like that, the wire is really, it's a tight fit. There's no, I can't pull the wire from one end, I can't pull the wire from, it can touch each other, but it's really difficult to work with. So I'm gonna make a little extension of about this much. So I'm gonna cut around here to here, and then I'm gonna make the wires come out. So I need three separate little wires that are inside of here to join up with the three wires that are in the car to make a length. So I'm gonna start with these. This is basically the same thing that I did for part two, but it's much neater, and obviously it's much neater, and I've practiced a bit as well, so I can make it a lot tidy. Obviously this isn't the best tools to use, but it with a bit of safety it works. So first I'm just cutting the length of the wire that I need. And part two is basically me doing this and then just joining the wires back up with that heat shrink and showing that it actually works. But in the car, because the car, that was the first time I was doing it, it stopped working after a day. It worked for like a day, and then it stopped working, and I bent the wire a bit, like just squeezed it or whatever, like banging a hammer on like an electrical object to try and make it work. And then it worked, and then it stopped working the next day again. So I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother, like just gonna redo. But then trying to redo it, there's no I'm trying to pull the wires close together. I can't get them close because there's not enough wire left. So look, over here there's 4, I just need 3. So what we can do is just keep one wire to the side like that, because obviously I could take out all 3 wires by just cutting this whole cable, but then I'd rather just leave the rubber on there, and it just makes sense. So let's do about here. Pliers could do in this case, like different tools make things easier, you know. I could use a wire cutter. It could, you know, it's really that simple. Could use a wire cutter. Wire cut would make things a lot more efficient in terms of I'll be able to cut these quicker, not necessarily neater, because I can make it neat anyway. So that these have all come out. So look, I've got 2 ends now. So obviously once I cut that yellow bit that's there, I'm gonna cut both ends, get rid of that nastiness, and I'm gonna join it up with a bit of length, because when I pull it, it's way too tight for me to work with. So then I just have to make sure that the right color goes to the right cable on each end. I bought some connectors as well to tap into like 12-volt source, so, but I'm not really going to use that. It's not really, yeah, it doesn't work in this case. I bought these other connectors, but I think it's just much neater to just connect the cables with those connectors. So anyways, this is like to make it really neat basically. So here, yeah, so what I'm going to show here is how I'm going to, in part the video that I was going to do for part 2, I done it the same way, where I cut the copper and then just chucked the copper strands through. I didn't really, where I put the copper strands through, I didn't really solder. So after I done that, and I realized, you know what, it's way too hard to work with these copper strands like that. So what I ended up doing, I got a solder pen. I hate using this. It's really difficult without a clamp. You need a clamp, but I ain't got a clamp. So basically, I soldered the end bits. After practicing on with this cable, I realized I definitely need solder because it's way too difficult. So after I started using the solder, it became a lot more neater, and not applying too much heat with the lighter as well. That made a difference. Like, it might not melt as much, but I'd rather have it not melt as much and still make a connection than completely burn the whole thing and not make no connection. So I'm going to do one side, I'm going to do the other side, but I'll just like fast forward it or delete it because so I've done this. There's only 3 wires that need to be connected. I've done that. I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to do the same on this side now. Okay, so I've done both sides. That side did much quicker. I just put all 3 wires in a row, just cut it all in one. So obviously, the more I practice, the more quicker I get. I mean, this is like my 4th try, and then it's just, yeah, getting quicker. So now what I'm gonna do here now is I'm gonna solder each bit. Like, basically, I'm gonna show some pictures of when I practiced the 4th time now, where it came pre-soldered already. So when it came pre-soldered, it was like, you know what, that makes sense, because when it's pre-soldered, the wire strands don't come out, and it can automatically just go into that little connecting tube instead of getting stuck with each strand. So what I'm trying to do here is connect all of these, connect each bit of the wire together with the solder. Oh, you see, these are, because they're really small, it's really hard to work with. So I'm gonna let this pen heat up a bit, and then you see what I'm talking about. I think it takes like 10-20 seconds to warm up. And you know what it is, yeah, working with these solder pens, like, a lot of them are really bad. Like this one, it's a bit old, and it's okay, yeah, neat, that can do. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to heat up the wire, and so it can sort of stick onto the wire. It's not easy as it looks. You see the wires just coming apart. I need it together. Okay, I can do. Okay, so here I don't know why it doesn't work. So like, obviously it's a wireless solder pen, it doesn't work straight away, but it's supposed to like do its job though, right? Okay, so look, yeah, it's sort of, it's really difficult to make these work. See, having the right solder pen makes a huge difference. This is like a quick 20 quid, like. All right, so 2 done. So this one come out good. This one just left a bit of a bubble. It keeps it together, but it's only on one side. I need it. I can just pull it off. Look. Oh no, you know what? I'll keep it on there. I'll try to do it again. And you see, the solder pen is just making life really long. Like, it should have been done already, but I don't know if it's not heating up the solder. Like, so what I was aiming for all of them to come out like this one. Look, this one come out good. So the solder holds everything together. This one, this is what I was not aiming for. It's like a bubble, and the bubble is, that's not what I was aiming for. This one, it just about come out alright. Like, there's a few strands I think that are not, yeah, see? I might redo this one. I'll redo that one. No, I'm this. I want to try. Oh, this one is difficult, but we'll still do. So I'm doing this side, and obviously same thing I the other side, and have them. Do you know what, man? I'm happy with this. I can just, that one strand. Oh, anyway, so this will help get through the little tube. This one is a bit difficult to work with, but it will still do. So I'm gonna do the next side, this side, and obviously the same thing's gonna happen in the car, is that both sides are gonna have to get cut and have that done to it. Finally, both sides got done. One side took ages. Like, it's this pen. This pen is really bad. It runs off like AA batteries, and it's the heat. It doesn't provide enough heat unless, I don't know, man. It's just not a good soldering pen. Finally, it took ages, man. Anyway, so this has to be done all over again. 6 of them, so 3 on one side of the wire in the car, 3 on the other side of the wire, and then I can easily just chuck that tube through, that connecting tube, and just like not burn it, but just, you know, until it gets tight enough to hold both wires, and then the solder should maybe melt a bit. It doesn't need to fully melt.